Hello and welcome to this Eyes of Harmony podcast. On this podcast, we talk old, new, and upcoming Doctor Who. And we did our podcast about Ncuti Gatwa being the 14th Doctor, and then the next day, like expecting that just to be it. Also, I look rough as fuck. I've just had COVID, so yeah, like the bags under my eyes. Anyway, so we thought that was it because that's what RTD said. But rule one.
Nope.
RTD lies. Because out of nowhere, Two Hearts plus Blue Diamond was put. And,
and we were like, there were so many things. We were thinking, well, what could this mean? Like my initial thing was like David and Matt for 60th.
That was my fault.
Which, to be fair, Matt, Peter Capaldi, they could still happen, but...
Yeah, I still think they'll be in there somewhere. Because I think RTD knows not to just do a celebration of his era, right? But it makes sense, right, to have... David Tennant and Catherine Tate are back. We never actually said that. They're back.
What?
So, yeah, wow. The David Tennant, not too surprised about.
No, he's always up for it. Yeah, well, I mean, I don't think she was ever against the idea of it. Like whenever
more just RTD bringing her back, choosing to bring the story. But the more I think about it, the more it just makes sense to me. Why have to make a world from scratch when he's already got a world which he loves and that people love?
Yeah.
Why not re-establish it? And then that would allow Ncuti Gatwa to then come into that world and continue expanding it rather than having to build a new one from scratch. We have those characters and move on.
Assuming that's the direction they go with it. Because we don't know, like, exactly. Because there's so many unknowns about, well, is this, like, still our universe? Is this like a gap? Is this like an alternate universe? Is this... Yeah, etc., etc., etc. What is going to be as... But Rose's... Yeah, that was the character.
Yeah.
Rose is sort of part in all of this, and will that, like, then be a factor in Ncuti series, or is it just specifically for whatever they're doing here? There's so many, like, unknowns about it, and lots of, like,
which
speculation.
I love.
Yeah, which is good.
I love that they've shown us so much, but really it just makes more questions. Like, I think this is when the marketing is where it's lacked before, where you show people a lot, but without context or any meaning, it doesn't mean shit. Like, and that's what's exciting. It allows far more speculation, on how you're going to do it. I think the issue, like, with the Centenary is they put all their surprises in the trailer. We got to wait till October, and we ran out of time. Well, I hope there's not fucking any more than what they've done.
Yeah, I mean... I wouldn't be surprised, honestly.
I know,
Suddenly, Tayun is here, back from the dead.
No, Fugitive Doctor will definitely be in it.
Oh, yeah.
Let's be honest.
Yeah.
So that's like an extra thing. Anyway, so Yasmin Finney is finally is our first proper, like, I think we've had a trans character before in, I think, Sleep No More, wasn't it? But this is... But they played a kind of gender neutral character. But this is, I think, like a trans person playing. I wonder if Rose will be a trans character in the show. I hope so. I hope so.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we'll see. I'd imagine so. Yeah, because
it's an important factor, I guess, to Yasmin Finney. But I haven't watched her in anything. But from the hype, apparently very good. So yeah, very exciting. She's in Heartstoppers. Which I will probably give a watch.
Yeah, I never even heard the show, and then suddenly, like...
No, now it's getting a second and third series, so clearly,
that's Netflix.
yeah, that's true. But so playing Rose, my guess is somewhat Memories of the Doctor bleeding through.
Yeah.
I think we're pretty sure that Yasmin Finney is Donna's, and I can't remember his name now. What was his name? Sean?
Yeah.
Sean?
Yeah.
Sean Temple, yeah. And his like their kid. Which makes me go, but if if Donna called her Rose, that would be that at birth she was a girl. That's my only thing where I'm like if Rose is a trans character, then they would have chosen the name Rose later on rather than Donna giving them the name Rose. That's
Yeah.
my only thought with that one. But
Well,
I mean,
well, I mean,
whatever.
there could, like, maybe she ask her mother to choose like a new name. You know, sometimes it does
Maybe.
happen.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Yeah. It
But yeah,
doesn't.
I guess
Yeah.
we'll find out. That was my only like thought on that. But they're definitely, I think, from the filming which was happening in Camden, London.
Yeah.
I think people like it was obvious that Rose is part of the noble family. You can see her holding hands with Sylvia, who's back, which I'm
Yeah.
really Jacqueline as. I
Yeah.
mean, she's a very lovely woman
Yeah.
as well. You met
Absolutely.
her.
She's yeah. Like her and Katie Manning are the two nicest people I think I've ever had the pleasure of interacting with at conventions. Like, absolutely lovely. Absolutely lovely.
So yeah, and I'm so happy that they're back. Like, I love that family. Like, and as as they send the press release of Catherine and David being back, they're the most iconic, I think, of New Who. That
Oh yeah.
pairing, it is him and David
Um.
Tennant and Catherine Tate.
Yeah,
There's
well, the
others
best
like
five. Yeah.
David Tennant and Rose are definitely like enough a popular one. I mean, Carrigan and that, but I think out of anywhere, you'd go like where you have to choose the most iconic of New Who. You just go David Tennant and Catherine Tate. I feel like that, at least for me, that's the most. I like Tom
Yeah.
Baker's scarf, right? What would last from if you took this
Yeah.
whole era and condensed it all the way down to like one like duo, and it would be them, much like how people went Tom Baker, Sarah Jane Smith.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and also they did bring back Billy Piper at the 50th, so I
Yeah.
guess having a different sort of, I mean, not so much pairing because Rose wasn't at the 50th, but like having Catherine Tate represented for the next anniversary is nice. We just need Freema Angerman for the next one, and we've got
Yeah, it would be great to see Freema back. I wonder if she could. I mean, it's still possible if she's if they're building if I just don't see Russell T Davies starting a whole universe from scratch. That's the fucking tough part, right?
Yeah.
And he's already done that bit. So I think this is a way of opening it up and then building on it.
Yeah.
Building on that level and expanding it. Yeah, he won't like just stay with the noble family, but what it does is it reestablishes, yes, this is the RTD era part 2. It's still going to be, I think, in theme. I know that people are like, oh, Russell T Davies is saying, I can't wait to do different things and blah blah blah, and I get that he's going to tell different stories and go down different character arcs, but his world building and style, even when you're watching It's a Sin, is very similar to the RTD era. He has his way of building worlds, and that's not going to change.
Yeah.
So to me, he's already done that. He's built this perfect world.
Yeah.
He's going to build off of it, and it sets up the stage nicely for Gatwa, that he doesn't have to like do all the classic First Doctor story, establish every single thing.
Yeah.
I think that Yasmin Finney might then become the companion.
Possibly. I don't know. Like I said, it entirely depends on how connected, because they only specified with her casting that it was
the 60th
for the for stuff for the 60th.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean it's necessarily gonna purely be for that, but it could be. She's still filming for Heartstoppers, right? So
yeah, so maybe it is a one-off character.
Maybe, or like just for a few specials or whatever. Maybe or maybe maybe it is strictly for this one story. Like I said, there's so many unknowns about exactly how and what's going to be happening kind of going forward, and how certain things are going to change and not change. So it's exciting times, and I guess we'll see as time progresses the full extent of it.
And Bernard Cribbins.
At the age of 93.
Yes! Fucking legend.
Yeah,
oh god, I'm so happy. Out of any character I really wanted to see again.
Yeah.
Wilf was still one of them. Like, just to know that the Doctor's okay. Like, imagine him seeing the 10th Doctor like that face now. Imagine how crazy that's going to be. Like for
Yeah.
Wilf, he'd be like, "What the hell?" I'm so interested in what they're doing with the story.
Yeah. Yeah.
And obviously,
And
one which I saw, which was interesting, which I sent to you on Twitter, was someone saying that the trickster, and Russell T Davies said his biggest regret about his era at one point was like not bringing the trickster into like the main series, because the trickster's a fucking sick villain.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
surprised no one's done
absolutely.
it since. Like, what a great, like, there's so many ways you can twist and turn it, and like the trickster's brigade and have fantastic,
Yeah.
like,
Well, again, we got the beetle, which was connected, but
like
like
untouched potential. Like, I
there is a
think
lot of untouched. Yeah.
you could definitely bring him back. And
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
wouldn't it be interesting that's why like things slightly change, like his costume's slightly different and all these things, like, what if this
Yeah,
is the world?
it could
because
be. Yeah.
because right, the 10th Doctor gave them a lottery ticket to be millionaires, right? Like, so why is like Sean Temple driving a taxi now? Like, this is the thing, there's stuff like this.
I mean, there are plenty of explanations. You know?
I know, but for me it looks like
They gave
it's
it all to
just interesting.
charity. You know.
Potentially,
Yeah.
but like,
Well,
I think it's
yeah,
like a triple
yeah,
rollover, isn't it? It's like,
yeah. I mean,
where does that money go? And to
yeah.
explain that away, yeah, if it's an alternate universe, well, he never had to give that, so on and
Yeah.
so on. Like,
Yeah. No, indeed, indeed.
it'd be interesting.
And you wonder if it is a parallel universe where that actual split
Yeah.
happened as well.
Yeah.
Because, the first thought is like, oh, Doctor was an arsehole and left Wilf in the thing and just walked on. But no. Wilf is here.
No,
He's fine.
so clearly
He's
it's
safe.
some kind of like,
Yeah.
maybe it starts with the 10th Doctor in that,
Yeah.
in the cubicle, and just about as it's about to happen, it's like, the trickster appears and we get this whole other timeline.
Yeah.
And then maybe other doctors having to come back and go, no, this is wrong, something like that. Because even in this other timeline, the other doctors will still be about, right?
Yeah, yeah. And I guess speaking of course, we've had plenty of rumors about, particularly with Peter Capaldi, because he and Matt Lucas were meeting with Rachel
Talali.
Yeah, sorry, that was a good name. See the name. Yeah.
He was back to
and
direct
she was saying, but she was saying, oh, I'm just meeting up with friends, which
she said that, but she also said NDA.
Well, exactly, exactly. I was about to say,
times.
yeah. So, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, we already know that Peter Capaldi was against multi-Doctor stories. But if they are doing like
individual
a few individual episodes with like individual doctors, so we got like a David episode, a Matt episode, and a Peter episode, for example. Like, yeah, I could see that happen. I would be so happy for that.
I mean, even Christopher Eccleston recently said, "If you want me back, you get me on my own," which is such a change of tune, though.
Yeah,
from being like, I'd never do it again to I do it, but on my own.
That's
how you get me back.
It's very interesting that he says that, given, again, currently where, this whole thing seems to be sort of leading towards, like I said, with potentially having a few episodes dedicated on a specific Doctor. I'm not going to get my hopes super up for that yet, just because again,
I know,
there's a lot
we're just clowning ourselves, a lot about but it's just the fact that that changed, like, it was it was very specific wording. If you want me back on my own, kind of thing. Like, okay, so you would come back if it was by yourself. Interesting. That's like what was okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think he's enjoyed doing Big Finish a lot, and I think that's made a big difference. I think he realised the love for the character actually going back to it. I think he could separate bad experiences from actually what the show and that is fandom, which is lovely. I'm so glad that he has been able to do that, Christopher Eccleston, because he deserves so much praise and love from it, and it's nice that he's finally going to like fan events and getting all that. And
indeed.
Yeah.
A few other interesting things with the filming, of course, like Wilf, with the filming itself, Wilf was sort of being wheeled into the TARDIS itself, which is
which I think has a different interior, because you can see they've put the canvas on the back of a TARDIS, and obviously when you have canvases, the fabric comes slightly over the edge.
But
like it did look a bit like the coral wall, but I couldn't quite
maybe.
tell.
Though it is Jodie's exterior.
Yes, it is Joe's exterior, but the interior has been changed
Yeah.
because they've dismantled it, and people took bits from it home. So,
and there's also a new sonic screwdriver, which
new
is
sonic screwdriver, which looks good. Nice design. A bit like 12s. People thought it was 12s to start with, but no, it's definitely a new unique one. But
yes.
God, David Tennant looks so
He does.
fucking
Like they got it. There's a spiky hair. Like even
they did the
beyond
spiky
because
hair.
they did like of course the 50th did more of like the series 2. I
Two,
guess. Yeah,
yeah,
kind of
series 2.
more
Like
flat.
people complain about it, but someone actually did a picture of David Tennant's hair in every single episode, and it does look like that in some of them.
Yeah.
And yeah, it makes sense for it. But yeah, I'm glad they did the spiky. I think they know that the spiky is the most loved. Sticky up hair. And God, just to see him back again is like, whew, just the dark coat. So interesting. It's interesting. Yeah, I like the new costume slightly. I just can't wait to see it on screen, really. But yeah, Bernard Cribbins and it's interesting. At one point, Donna gets into the TARDIS and leaves, and then they wave her off because they had the big fan machine to do the as it dematerializes, which I realize they haven't really done. Like that, no one's done it like RTD. RTD loved to do the big gust of wind as the TARDIS dematerialized, and they're definitely doing that again. But yeah, Rachel Talalay is back. I think in literally the last podcast we did, I said I really hope that she'd come back and direct.
I think you did
for the 60th, and then
there she
boom
is.
on set. And yep, I couldn't wish for a better director to do the anniversary. Clearly, Russell T Davies watches the show, and since he's left, and he knows pure, utter, fucking gorgeous talent when he sees it. And I mean, Heaven Sent is definitely the best since, maybe even my favorite since even like The Doctor's Wife. But if I pushed even further, maybe Waters of Mars. But visually, it's maybe the best. Like Talalay's episodes are the best looking of New Who. I know the new Jodie's era has like nicer cameras and like the wide angles, but in terms of like shot composition and lighting, just Talalay's is just hands down farly just the best. I mean, someone did like an appreciation post of just like some key shots from hers, like Bill holding like 12th Doctor knocked out and all the smoke, from the Doctor Falls opening where they've smashed through, and just like the light behind Capaldi when he's like eating at the table in Heaven Sent, and when he drops that spoon, that moment, like so I'm so happy that she's back directing. I think they're gonna go back to full screen, personally.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Like, I guess, yeah.
As I said, it feels less staged and cinematic. When you have full screen, it's how soaps are made. Soaps are full screen. And RTD's era is a soap. It is a soap.
It's kind of funny how they've more or less stepped back on a lot of the innovations which occurred for the Jodie era.
Yeah. And I mean, it's good to experiment and do different things, but yeah, I somewhat agree. You want it to feel like a soap and reel, like that's how people connect with it. That's cinematic. Is nice, but when it's not airing in the cinema,
yeah,
I don't know. But Unit are back,
and
they're shooting at Wembley, so that'd be interesting. I think the Unit logo they're using in the Centenary is the one that's actually on their uniforms in this. So some slight continuity carrying over.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure Wembley is going to be the site for some alien thing. It's very Russell T Davies to use a location as such. We've had Big Ben get here. London Eye was something. What else have they done? They haven't done the O2 Arena yet, but I bet at some point.
No, they haven't done the O2.
No, Stonehenge was Moffat.
Just Moffat.
Yes, they did. Oh, like the telegraph pole in Cardiff,
Yeah.
Torchwood when they're sending the call.
To be fair, in the last series, they made a big deal out of Anfield.
Yes, yeah, but not as anything alien. It was
No.
just there.
Well, I mean, the Sontarans were about it.
Yeah, I suppose so. But yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's that.
Yeah. What else to say? Cause
Pretty much that.
it seemed like it seemed like so much like I said, all this information was coming out. I was very tempted just to like, because of course I'm in London currently, just to like take the tube, go there, have a watch. Didn't end up doing that in the end. I kind of regret it, but you know, busy times. So
Yeah, you got stuff on.
there's also like a big fuss made supposedly about like, I think it was some shop which had like cyber something, or it kind of looked like it, and it had like two giant like robots on the outside.
That's
but yeah, it's actually just a shop. So and people were like, "Oh my goodness, is this a hint that the Cybermen are back?" It's just like, no, that's just what it looks like.
Nah, they'll just do some random alien, because they want to focus on the story of.
Actually, that is something I do want for the next year, is a dedicated Cyberman story again. I mean, I have faith in Russell T that he will deliver. I mean, granted, not that I'm always the biggest fan of, like, you know, the Cybermen stories of his era, but, you know.
He never wrote them. Oh,
he
apart
from
from Next Doctor.
But
Next
I mean,
Doctor,
when the ones in, when there's that. But I mean, the ones in his era, I guess, you know.
Yeah, he never. He wrote them well in Doomsday, actually. That, you know.
Yeah, the sass. Yeah.
But yeah, still he had to world build. You see, like that's kind of. But now he's got that, and that's why I'm pretty damn sure that's why he's reestablishing.
Yeah, I think it would be sort of, because all the eras so far have been linked, but not like kind of loosely. Like it feels like there is somewhat a reset every era. It sometimes quite literally, but I kind of get the feeling, you know, especially if he does do the whole like, you know, if he does do a Matt and Peter episode, I feel like it will kind of have an olive branch between all the eras we've had, and sort of maybe make an attempt to sort of make it feel like a cohesive world again, I guess, you know, because a lot's happened and a lot's been ignored over the years, and a lot have been like intentionally just like, forget that didn't happen. No.
Yeah. It'd be interesting. I'm just gonna grab some water from thing.
That's cool. Yeah, you know, there's been a lot of, feels like quite a lot of that over the years. So like it'd be nice to see if he's sort of like, I mean, of course, focusing more on, I guess, his era, but like sort of having, you know, like I said, feel like a complete picture, you know.
Yeah.
More so.
It would be nice, and I think, I mean, to me, it just makes sense to bring it back. It just that is what I do. Why would I want to build a world all the way from scratch again when I can sort of like dip my toe back into it, be like, yeah, you remember this. These are things that I established. Now I'm going to expand on this rather than all the way from scratch.
Yeah.
It really just depends on what the story is. Is it a parallel universe? Because obviously whatever happens, then I don't think it will. It's going to have to have effects and tie into what Shooty's, you know.
Well, and unless there's a thread between the 60th stories and then like culminating in the big event, and then we get Shooty as like a just like a new thing established like next time. I could see it there being I could see it being kind of more of a self-contained arc.
Yeah. I don't think Shooty's going to be in much of the 60th, if at all. No. I think they're going to.
I mean, they could have a Peter Capaldi-esque cameo where it's just like eyes.
I think the last scene will be Shooty's first scene.
Yeah,
that's my guess.
Possibly,
because because you want to set up something, you know, you're setting up that thing, and then maybe Shooty's Doctor's first story happens with the, you know, Donna's family and that family, right? Like that.
Could do. Like I said, there's a lot of possibilities and a lot of ways this
Because
could
that
go.
series wouldn't film like maybe Yasmin Finney's like contract for Heartstopper is only for 2 seasons, so
Yeah.
she'd film the second season
Yeah,
soonish,
and of course, you know,
and then
actors
Doctor Who.
like depending on when they're shooting, of course, there could still
can
be time.
balance.
I'm not saying that there isn't. It's just something to perhaps keep in mind, you know,
Yeah.
because like I said, I don't know what the plan with her is. I don't. Of course, nobody does. So, and like the fact that they haven't said, like, very come out specifically and gone like, oh, she's going to be Shooty's companion.
New companion.
It kind of makes me think that it's
No.
that she's That's my gut feeling on it. But you know, I could be wrong, and I'd be perfectly happy to be wrong on that front. Again, there's a lot of unknowns currently about this, so I would reserve judgment.
One thing, so from the shooting, posters had December dates, so this is clearly set in December. It has to be a Christmas special, right? I know some people are going like, oh, you're clowning yourself. It's, you know, it's not going to be a Christmas special. It'll be New Year's Day because it's not the 60th till next year. I was like, the Three Doctors started airing in December of the year before. Like, when you're doing a one like episode, obviously.
Besides,
but
the 60th year is kind of from November 21st.
November, right
23rd.
to November. Yeah, exactly. Like, if you go like,
that's
a year before. Yeah.
So it fits.
Or you could argue that, you know, does the 60th year not even count though? Would that be from the next November to the next November? Like, whatever. But Russell T Davies isn't just going to come back and just do bang anniversary special. He'll want to build up first part, second part, third part. Why would he want a massive, like, basically a year and a month gap of Doctor Who not being on screen? That's not how you celebrate an anniversary special.
Yeah,
it's the whole reason they split Series 7 over 2012 and 2013, because they wanted a series in 2013, but they realized, well, shit, we can only so they split it. They did 5 episodes for all of September 1st to September 30th, because it was sad it was over in a month. Series 1 part 1.
Man, who
Christmas
would take
special.
long gaps for Doctor Who and lose momentum, right? What kind of showrunner would do that?
Yeah, I mean, you can tell, like, showrunners will never diss anyone else who's running the show. It's professionalism. But I think, you know, it's obvious deep down that Russell T Davies has a way that he wants Doctor Who to be run.
Yeah.
And this is the way. Like,
this is the way.
Very Mandalorian. Yeah, this is the way. But this is it. Marketing straight away already has improved immensely. Even the whole fucking emoji thing. Like, look at the speculation, the internet breaking down over that.
Like
when did we ever get that? This
exactly.
past era.
Like, the fact is that, like, in a relatively short space of time, the centenary has been basically forgotten because of the fact that they aren't. Because that has continued to use what they've been doing with the marketing up until this point, which is nothing until the last moment, and it's like, oh, and here's a
trailer.
It's like the ideas that they put forward in the marketing aren't, you know, and what they have been for like the past seasons haven't been bad on their own. It's just
how to hide a dead body. It's my favorite one.
It's even been very niche, like the ARG. It's like very few people are going to care about that. You know, so that's for a very specific kind of audience. Or, you know, like I said, trailers which have just kind of underwhelmed, you know.
Yeah, I mean, trailers can't do it. Like you got to do far more. And this is it. It's so fucking simple. Teasing. It's all about teasing.
Like the first teaser.
People
for
like
Flux
to be teased.
Lacks so much impact that.
Like, it was just faces.
It's like, who's gonna get a hype?
What is there
over
to get
that?
excited over that? It's like, yeah, we know who fucking Jodie Whittaker is. We know who Yaz is. You know, Madip Gill is. We know who. Like, show us some fucking aliens, man.
We got a spaceship.
God, like it's just so. Ugh. Just show us Swarm. Like,
Yeah.
just something like that. Just things you can speculate over.
Mm.
Like having all secrets doesn't make it more exciting.
No. And we've seen that quite consistently over the
Yeah.
past several years. So,
I
yeah.
have no idea why. Yeah, it's such a weird mindset. You want people to talk about the show, not know nothing.
Mm.
Because then you only have a week in between episodes for people to talk about it. You
It-
want people talking about it for months.
Mm.
Like, people are going to be like, this doesn't. This is. I know that it has to be a Christmas special. Look at the viewing figures. Anyone who thinks that Russell T Davies is going to prioritize a New Year's special over a Christmas special is not thinking straight. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Highest viewing figures, all of like his era was Voyage of the Damned, Christmas Day, 2007.
Yes.
Right? It
Mm.
wouldn't have got those views on New Year's Day.
Yeah. And
The only one that did well was End of Time Part 2, and that is because fucking David Tennant was regenerating.
Yeah, yeah.
That is the only reason.
Indeed. I mean, yeah. I mean, even in
And
the
Part
Moffat...
1 aired on Christmas Day. Right?
Yeah, there you
like,
go.
you add that context as
Yeah.
well.
And I mean, that was the same with the Moffat era as well. Like, the Christmas specials tended to do better. Like, they weren't to the Russell T Davies era's levels, but they still were, you know, lots of eyes would be on it.
Still
Certainly
the
more
highest,
so,
usually. Yeah.
Certainly more so
Higher than any New Year's Day.
I mean,
Yeah,
the first one was about on par with like the rest of the series, but past that, it's sort of. And I mean,
Yeah.
I think Series 11.
Christmas Carol got 12.1.
Yeah.
12.11 million.
Hmm.
That's only 0.16 less than End of Time Part 2.
Which is, you know.
Insane, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the next Doctor got 13.1.
Yeah.
That got higher than End of Time Part 2. The next Doctor.
Yeah.
Right? That's insane. That's insane how that one did, you know, higher than like David Tennant's last story, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Like, and it's because Christmas Day, everyone is around the TV. It makes no sense to do it on New Year's Day just because, ooh, 60th year. Russell T Davies will not give a shit. Like,
Yeah.
he doesn't care. He wants numbers. He wants success. He wants to build it. Right? That's what he's going to do.
Yeah.
It would be like the dumbest thing to be like, well, technically,
Oh.
it's not the 60th anniversary year. I think you'll find like that. No one gives a shit.
No.
He will not give a shit.
No.
I want high viewing figures. I want people to be watching Doctor Who again. You've got David Tennant back. So David Tennant, Christmas Day, Catherine Tate, you know, and everyone's around the TV anyway. It's like fucking genius.
Absolutely.
It's genius. Everyone's gonna fucking watch it.
Absolutely.
Like I would be surprised if it didn't hit. I know like viewing figures are a bit different nowadays.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you can't compare to what they were back then.
No. No.
But I can still see this getting like 8, 9. If it gets 8, 9, I mean that's so fucking good compared to like the only ones that got over. I mean, the only one to be over 8 for any of Chibnall's era was Arachnids. That's the last time we've had any episode over 8.
Yeah. I mean, Series 11 initially had high figures primarily because it kind of less of the fact that the marketing itself and more the fact that it marketed itself rather than
it was just
the
there was a female
marketing
doctor
itself.
and it's like let's see this new era. A new era is exciting, right?
Yeah.
But then it clearly, you know, it dips off. I mean, yes, people argue, well, the first series did. I'm like, yeah, but not
Yeah,
like
the first series did fine, but like after that
didn't
point,
continue to dip. No.
Well,
The first is in series 1. People try and claim like series 1 did go from 10 to 6, but then also the next series it goes 9 and 8s, and you know then it jumps around and finished at 8, which is far higher than Parting of the Ways, right? And then like series 3, 8s and 7s, like you know, and then like series 4 had 9s, and the final, you know, series like finale, Journey's End had 10.57. Insane.
Yeah.
Insane figures.
And granted, I think that the gap from series 11 to series 12 really
Didn't help as well.
hurt it.
And people thought that Spyfall Part 1 was just a New Year's special and that was it, because that's what they'd done the previous year.
Yeah.
Because, like, we didn't have anything for all of 2019.
Yeah.
Apart from Resolution on first fucking day. Like what a fucking mistread. So fucking bad.
Like, I understand the gap, of course, for COVID. That is completely understandable. But 11 to 12? I never... Well, I mean, maybe wouldn't say maybe never fully understand it, because maybe someday there'll be an interview somewhere where they reveal what on earth happened.
I just don't think... Okay, it's crazy. So I'm reading the A Writer's Tale at the minute. And Russell T Davies, like, he knew like series 3 is only just airing when this book, and they're emailing, and is currently writing Voyage of the Damned is where I'm at.
Yeah.
And he's writing that, I think it's like April of 2007, so they'll be shooting soonish. He writes to the wire, Russell T Davies, but he has a story all up in his head, he just doesn't write.
Yeah.
But he knows at this point, because he's referenced that the following year's Christmas special is going to be Cybermen in a period piece. Like, he knows already what the story is going to be. He knows all of what series 4 is going to be, and it's crazy. And he knows, like, the special, like, he still knows. It's like, yeah, it's still early preliminary stages, but he clearly has the whole thing set out so early on in his head. And I just don't think Chibnall is like that. And I don't even think Moffat was like that. I think Moffat planned each series very much as it is, or Russell T Davies just planned the whole fucking saga.
I mean, I think Moffat did have a bit more winging it. But...
Okay, well, so the first series was, for Moffat at least, is, okay, let's use the formula we know that works.
Yeah.
Let's just build a new era, a more fairy tale, Moffat style.
Yeah.
And yeah, super successful. Same kind of fall off, funny enough, as series 1 with Eccleston. Start with 10 million, drop to about 6. Yeah. But then the next series, 8s and 7s. That's how there's the difference. But yeah, then series 6, that's when they went very different. Like, you can see it's a much darker tone. I literally just watched series 6 very recently. I've been doing a watch through, and I've just finished series 7. I've just got to watch Day of the Doctor and Time of the Doctor to finish the Matt Smith era. And the tone is really consistent with series 6, which is something that I appreciate a lot more this time round. The tone is, very consistent throughout. And that's my issue with series 7 is the tone is fucking all over the place. And that's it. I remember when Moffat came to series 7, he's like, I want every single one to be like a blockbuster film, different genre, this and that. In concept works, you could watch any of those episodes individually, but the issue is there's no... It feels weird going from one episode to the next. It's so, like, disjointed. It doesn't feel like there's a map, like a planned out thing. It's just Impossible Girl here and there, and that's... And I think series 7, Moffat was too busy worrying about the 50th. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Big fucking anniversary, and the first one of New Who. Proper big anniversary of New Who. So,
and I don't think 8 really knew what it wanted to be either.
No, I think mainly like 8 and 9.
I think 9 had a better idea. He wanted two-parters.
Kind of, yeah, but see, two-parters is just like a mechanic. It's not an actual
not a plot.
narrative.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
And there was a hybrid.
But 10 was a lot more... I think he had more time to think on 10.
Yeah.
Which he did.
They took
series 9, they took the year. They took 2016. And I think that helps a lot. And that's why series 10 is my second favourite of the Moffat era. 5 and 10 are my favourites, for sure.
And granted,
I'd say 6, I think.
It worked there, where it didn't so much in the Chibnall era, because the whole groundwork was far more established, I should just say, because I then realised, we criticised that, but because there was enough momentum, and we'd had time, a couple of series already to get kind of with Capaldi, as opposed to like the new Doctor with Jodie, where they didn't keep the ball rolling where it really needed to be. And also,
Especially-
that didn't mean that while in terms of quality it worked for Series 10, viewing figures weren't great for that either. Like,
yeah, yeah.
it
Gaps
was
do not help,
no.
which is why I know that like Russell T Davies is doing multiple specials. Like it just makes sense. It makes sense. Build something up and then boom,
Yeah.
Ncuti Gatwa, new Doctor, new series, hit the ground running. You know, maybe Christmas special, which is Ncuti's first. Then you hit that series. You don't have to do the first episode of who am I finding this and that. You make that the fun Christmas episode, which I think is why it really worked with Tennant.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know, Christmas Invasion. It works. You don't lose an episode of a series where you could just start the arc, right? You don't have to do all that Doctor stuff.
Unless that is
And-
part of the arc.
Unless, but yeah, I'm pretty sure we're gonna get 3 specials for the 60th,
Yeah,
or
seems
4,
likely.
3 or 4. But I think there'll be Christmas special, Easter Sunday special, and then
Yeah. I'm
For
sure I'll do a
the
better
60th.
better job marketing the Easter special this next time.
yeah. Sea Devils was yikes.
On pretty much
Viewing figures
most
and
levels.
on every level, on
Yeah.
every level. Yeah. But future's looking bright. So
Future is
fucking
looking
excited. So many people have said they haven't been this excited for Doctor Who in a long time. So
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like I said, that's like, yeah, of course I've been talking to my drama class, and like, you know, lots of people are very much on that exact same boat. Like I feel like I'm the only one
wanna
who's
watch it again.
who's continued
Yeah.
to watch throughout the Jodie era, but like, you know, some of the people who were watching it before were saying, oh yes, you know, I'm more interested now because of all of everything that's going on. So
he knows, RTD knows who's going to connect with the young audiences, right?
Yeah.
Who's going to tune in and watch? Who's going to appreciate these characters? Like he's smart. And while I think Jodie Whittaker was a solid choice, but not one that would resonate with younger audiences.
yeah, well,
It's not like a woman that everyone knows, right?
Yeah.
Like who's been on kids' TV, and you're like, oh, I know that person, right? You know,
yeah.
I didn't know who Jodie Whittaker was.
No, I don't think anyone did, and that isn't necessarily a downfall inherently, because of course nobody knew who Matt Smith was, and Matt Smith worked.
But I think when you're
But
doing a big change from a man to a woman, I think that would have been a key factor to have a well-known woman.
It might have helped. I think it just kind of comes down to the quality of stories, to be honest. Like, because the viewing figures were there, like it started strong, no doubt. People tuned in, like regardless of who was cast.
That's true.
I just think as soon as, especially as I said, things like Ghost Monument hit, and like
God,
the
what a
Saranga
boring
Conundrum,
episode.
Arachnids in the UK, like, yeah, having episodes like that fill up, especially like the first kind of chunk of your series, like, yeah, people are gonna drop off. It just doesn't seem like there's been very good quality episodes, you know. And it's
He
like,
hadn't
people
planned the
notice it.
episodes. Like that's what I find crazy. Is he took the job without like Russell T Davies knew all the stories he wanted to tell before he even took the job. Like you know that he planned like the next Doctor all the way. You know,
Yeah.
all the way early. You know,
And
that
Chibnall
is
claimed
crazy.
he had some sort of idea, but it didn't seem as firm. Like, I don't know,
Yeah.
that whole Doctor Who magazine interview he did. But it was more, the idea was, I want to change stuff in the continuity and whatever.
Yeah.
More than
Yeah.
it was, oh,
Yeah.
I have a clear idea of what I want this Doctor's...
To do.
Yeah. Which I think is kind of the wrong way to look at it. You know, it should be the journey, which...
Yeah. We know.
Yeah, we
Whatever.
got on this. Yeah.
Future's bright. Future's bright.
Future is bright. Future is bright.
And yeah, he just knows what he's doing, man.
Hmm.
And I look forward to Christmas specials returning.
Yes.
I have no
Assuming
doubt
we're
that
not
they will.
wrong.
I just have no doubt. It's just a no-brainer to me. It's like obvious what to do.
Surprise! It's New Year's Eve instead of New Year's. It's Christmas Day. No, Christmas Eve instead of Christmas Day this time.
Moffat knew how important
Yeah.
they were to viewing figures, right?
Yeah.
He literally wrote a whole extra episode just to keep that slot. And
Which they gave away.
God damn it. Just some things really frustrate me. It's like doing changes for no point.
It does become more confusing now, though, if they can just jump back to a Christmas slot. It's like,
Oh,
was that an issue in the first place?
RTD will get
Well,
that slot.
yeah, well, I know, but like, would having missed the Christmas special have really been that big a deal? Would it have really lost that slot, though?
I think it would have been off TV for a year and a half, right?
Yeah.
If there wasn't Twice Upon a Time, Doctor's Falls finished, what, June? July 1st. Series 11 started 7th of October the next year. Like, how damaging would that be? Like, Doctor Who just needs regular viewing. Is how you make a show successful.
Yeah. No, I agree.
It's like Russell T Davies in the book goes, they're moving around the airtime of Doctor Who. He basically complained, and he got that Series 3 would only air at 7 p.m. for the rest of the weeks. Big difference, makes a huge difference.
Yeah, because Doctor Who's time slot as well has jumped.
It'll be on Saturday again. It'll be on Saturday again as well.
Please.
I know. So look, they're filming way too early for this to be for any other time other than December this year. It makes no sense to be filming this early for next November. So they'll shoot these specials, and then they'll start shooting the series probably September of this year. If they've already cast shooting and all that, they're going to be moving pretty quickly ahead with it.
Oh, yeah.
So shooting the next series then, okay, well that won't air next year, so they'll probably shoot the Christmas special for next year. Let's be honest, 23 Christmas special. And then a series in the spring, and in that time, they'll finish shooting, and then next September, they can start shooting again for the following series, which will air then the following year. Right? This is how you have to do Doctor Who. You have to get ahead of the schedule.
Yeah.
And they're in the perfect position right now to do that.
No, indeed.
That's how they. I'm pretty sure that's when they shot originally. For the Series 3, they start like in the summer of the year prior, like as the series is airing, I think.
Yeah.
Filming.
I think yeah, once they kind of got into the rhythm they did. I think series 1 was a bit more tight, but if I remember right, but after that,
Recording for the Christmas special began 4th of July 2006, with a production of the series itself beginning August 8th, 2006. Yeah. Concluding April 2007. Oh, was that for Series 3? Yeah, so for Series 3, they started filming, way before. August 8th, so the first few episodes. Yeah, makes sense. So they're gonna be even more ahead than 3 was, because they'll have like a whole year and a bit, which means that they can be more relaxed, but it does mean more episode count potentially. I hope for 12 with a Christmas special each year.
But if it's less than I guess
I don't want less than 10. 10.
No, not less than 10. I wasn't saying less than 10,
yeah.
but like 10's probably the very bottom limit on that. You'd think.
But that's it. Speculation done. I think we've had everything at least for a while.
Yeah, there's not a lot else
We'll
going
see.
on. Oh yeah, Time Fracture's closing randomly early.
I guess just tickets not selling.
I guess so. I think that's probably, I mean, I'm sure there's Big Finish stuff going on.
Yeah,
generally.
stuff. My voice is cut, so that's it from me.
We'll close it out, yeah. Sure.
Thank you for watching, guys. Comment below what you think. How do you think they're back? wrapping up phrases which I usually say. There you go. You've had them.
etc. etc.
Like, subscribe, blah blah blah. We talk to you stuff. Fantastic.
Do we?
Allons-y. Sweet. Catch you
Au
later,
revoir.
guys. Bye.
Bye.
Au revoir.